Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you all popped in or joined in on the edition of Wednesday Story Time. And I thought today we are going to read this. It's called Dear Annie. It's written by June Cassidy. Why not get started, shall we? Grandpa's first letter to Annie when she's born had a picture of a rose on the front of it. Grandpa wrote, Dearest Annie, welcome to the world. When I saw you for the first time throughout the window at the hospital, you look like a rose. That's why I chose this car. Love, Grandpa. Mama read it to Annie on her cradle. Mama wrote it back. Dear Dad, Annie is like a flower with a pink cheeks and rose button mouth. She cries quite a lot, but we love her. Love, Catherine. Then she slipped it Annie in her little pouch, and they mailed the postcard together. When Annie was 1, Grandpa sent her birthday letter. It says, we hear you are walking now, so we can go hiking in the woods together, and we can look at the bear's tracks, the blue jays in this picture, exactly the color of your eyes. I love you, Grandpa. Mama wrote it back. Dear Dad, she'll be dancing soon. She rocks back and forth in the high chair when I have the radio on. She is a wonder. We could visit in a few weeks. Love, Kathleen. Then she walked to the mailbox with Annie, and she lifted Annie up, and Annie put the letter in the mailbox. When Annie was 2, Grandpa wrote, I received your lovely picture. The mailman rang my bell and says, looks like a special letter, and there is your drawing of the shoelace and the cat. And we had a dog named Buster. When I was little, my mother gave him away because she had too much. I was sad for a long time. Love, Grandpa. P.S. I'm sending you a card because I imagine when you get older, you might look like a little girl in this picture who is in French and call it Matheka. Mama wrote back, Dear Dad, Annie likes the picture of the Mythica so much that that's what she called her new doll, Mythica. What is her name again? She said when she picked up her doll. We'll visit next week, Annie says. I should tell you to get some of books from the library. When Annie got older, she visited Grandpa. Grandpa took her on her first sleigh ride, and they went ice skating too. When Annie told Grandpa goodbye, she said, now you can write me my letter. Annie went home and waited. Mail doesn't come at night, said her mother. Next day, Annie wants some more. She sat on the steps, listening for the check of the mailbox. Mail doesn't come on Sundays either, said her mother. Finally, a letter from Grandpa arrived. It says it has a picture of skaters and a pond. In winter, it reminds me of the 5th grade pond and how much fun we had skating. And you just laughed when you fell down. I have hot chocolate again today. It tasted better when you were here. Annie declared her mother. Dear Grandpa, today I watched a tape about a little mermaid. She's swimming a lot. Mama says in the summer times, you'll take me swimming. I'll be a mermaid. And Grandpa brought her back to Annie. Dear Annie, mermaid, of course we will go swimming. I'm glad you enjoyed the tape. When I was a small boy, we had no VCR, no television, and no computers. But I had a lot of books, and I loved to go to the library. Annie wrote back to her mother. Dear Grandpa, tapes are fun, but I go to the library too. I like the books and watching and babies sometimes. When witches are scary, but babies aren't. That time when Mama sat on the bench and I mailed the card all by herself. A few months later, Grandpa wrote, I enjoy your dancing so much. Grandma's birthday party. Here's a picture of a famous ballerina named Anne Parlow. She comes from Russia, where your ancestors come from, almost like 100 years ago. She even has your name. Anna wrote back all by herself. Dear Grandpa, Mama took me ballet classes, and I liked it, especially when the teacher pushed on my knees. It hurts. Grandpa wrote back, Dearest Anne, I never danced much when I was younger. The man, Harry Phil, was the king of England of 500 years ago. He was very stout and a fine sweater. Oh, wrestler, sorry, I cannot pronounce it. I used to wrestle in college. And also, did your uncle Larry sometimes it hurts too, but mostly I liked it. I am going to the post office to mail this card, sending you all my love. This week and months passed. Annie saved each one of Grandpa's cards and letters in the shoebox, and she decorated herself. One day, Annie brought her box of letters to school for show and tell. When it's her turn, she stood up in front of the class. My grandpa is my pen pal, she said. So far, I had 86 cards and letters from him. I wrote them back to him, too. And then every day, I waited for the mail. Annie sat down. The teacher passed around Annie's box of letters. The children liked it better than Roy's robot or Corny's celebrity microphone, or even Mindy's sweep scope with a tiny ice cream soda. They decided they wanted to have a pen pal too. The class made a bunch of billboards called Mails from Everybody. Soon there were cards and letters from all over the world and all sorts of handwritten. Annie put a few Grandpa's postcards on the board. Just a few. She kept most of them to herself because they were special. Nobody has many letters as Annie. Over 100 now, and Grandpa kept sending them each week. The end. Wow, what a great story about pen pals. You know how pen pals write letters to each other? I wish I have a pen pal. I used to when I was in middle school. But I'm not too sure which book we're doing next, but stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys then. Bye, everyone.